Legendary Hanover, 1:20.2 in the stretch of the Meadowlands pace. Legendary Hanover striding clear by 2 now 3. He's getting separation on Captain Luke and Gem Quality. Nijinsky not tonight. Legendary Hanover and James MacDonald win the Meadowlands pace. Then it's Nijinsky, Gem Quality, and Captain Luke in 1:46.3, a stakes record. Meadowlands pace ever.
Do you think you'll ever get tired of hearing that call?
No, I still get goosebumps hearing it, so probably not going to get tired of that one anytime soon. It was a special night, and just watching the fist pump and just feeling that emotion again, it's pretty cool.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Tuesday edition of Woodbine Racing Live. Chad Rosema alongside Meadowlands pace winning driver James MacDonald. Glad you stopped by. Appreciate you having some time for us here. A couple of days since the big event. How are you feeling? Has it set in yet?
Yeah, I'm not a huge replay watcher, but I must have watched that replay 100 times. So it still really hasn't sunk in. It was a wild night, and just the outpouring cry of texts and people reaching out, calls and messages of everyone. I just finally getting through them all now. Like it was an unbelievable night, and my feet haven't touched the ground since. So just soaking it all in.
And don't rest for the wicked, because you didn't really have time to let it soak in, really, because you went right back to work the next day. I know you had some drives in Tioga, and then obviously back here, and just that's just the summer months. You'll get an opportunity at some point, I'm sure, to reflect on everything, won't you?
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, this time of year is just so busy. You get Tioga, and then right back here, qualifiers this morning. So, and it's kind of just planning out traveling and all that stuff with this time of year. But one day in the winter or whenever it might be, I might just look back and just really bask in it, because I always say my goals are at this stage of my career to win big races, and when you finally win them, it's you got to find a way to really soak it up, because they don't come around often.
And I know you've said you've watched this replay about 100 times. Well, how about 101? You want to watch it one more time?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be great.
Let's relive this whole Meadowlands pace. So going into it, you know, it was two different eliminations the way they played out. The one you were in and winning with Legendary, you were able to stay patient, stay to the inside, and really not ask him until the final eighth of a mile. So it was kind of a win-win situation. Then going in, feeling that you had post position 6. How do you feel about the draw?
When the draw come out, I was a little disappointed, just because you win your limb and then you draw 1 through 6. So a normal year 6 would be great if you thought you were going to be 2 to 5 or 4 to 5, but 6 hole with such a deep field where there's probably 8 horses that can win it, I was a little disappointed, to be honest.
Did you think here? So you're just settling in front of Louis, but could you sense that there was a bunch of them still on the move in behind you, and you just said, I can't sit?
Yeah, unfortunately, like I said in the interview after, it was just the worst case scenario. Like I didn't want to end up where I was. I said to myself all afternoon, you know, if Dex touches down in the front, don't try and remove. Like, he's going to park you or he wants to cut it. And just the way the race set up, no one really took a big shot from the outside other than Scotty. And then Dex was clearing pretty easy, and we weren't flying, and my horse was swelled up. I knew I was going to be a long first over, and I just took a shot and gunned him. He's got such quick speed, and fortunately it worked out. So
here you went by, you didn't get hung out. What's going through your mind right now?
Like I said, yeah, the interview after, I said when he touched down, it wasn't like, oh my God, these are hot fractions, or oh my God, I got stretched. He felt so good. I was overwhelmed with confidence. Like, in the last turn, he was raging on the bit, and usually when he straightens up, he takes off on his own, and that's exactly what happened. He's just a special horse with an unbelievable stamina, and he can carry it forever.
Did you know off that last turn you weren't getting caught?
I was very confident, but you never really know with good horses. Maybe someone comes 24 seconds or something, but halfway down the lane, he was still pacing hard and didn't have any let up in him, and I knew it was over.
Yeah, what's his biggest asset? I mean, big set of lungs. He's a big, strong horse. I mean, or is he just the total package?
That's it. He's the total package. He comes off a helmet like a freight train. He's perfect gated. He leaves the gate if you want him to. normally will come off sensibly. Like sometimes that's, like I said, he can get a little warm, but when he's quiet and he's like he was at both starts at the Meadowlands, he's virtually unstoppable because he can do everything. Like and you just got to find a spot for him. Ideally a helmet, and like I said, he'll fly, but he can rough it first up. He can cut it. He's just a real joy to drive.
Put us in the bike with you past the wire. You just win. Obviously, you're pumped up. Adrenaline, I'm sure, is going. You've got guys down there that you become pretty good friends with, guys that were at your wedding. Was there that camaraderie afterwards of guys kind of celebrating you as you're going into that first turn?
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest. I don't want to say difference, not difference, but it's just the biggest thing I really enjoy about the Meadowlands is that there's so much money on the line, and the races are so prestigious. But it's just a really professional group of drivers. You know,
yeah.
they know what it takes to win a big race, and every single one of them come right to me with high praise and high fives, and you know they know how hard it is to get to that winner circle in the Meadowlands Pace or any big race. They've, for the most part, have all done it before. So they were just so happy for me, and it was just it was a really great feeling. I think Yannick gave me the fist bump after, and Jody come right to me right away, and that's just, they're a great bunch of guys, and they're professionals. They want to win, but they know, like I said, they know what it takes and how hard it is to win the big ones.
And you've been on the other end of that, right? Where you're congratulating your pals or your colleagues, whatever it may be, afterwards of a big win, because again, and you're learning more and more what it takes over the last several years to win these big races. Yeah,
for sure. And like I think Louis said it best a few years ago. I forget who it was. It might have been Bob when he won the Hambletonian or something, or maybe it was Doug when he won a big race. But Louis said, I don't want to say I'm jealous. He says, but I'm really friggin' jealous of you right now. He said, I'm really happy for you, but I just wish it was me. and that's just the way it is. Because like I said, it's so hard to win a big race, and everyone knows how hard it is. So when you see someone else get to that pinnacle or whatever you call it, you might be disappointed in the way the race went for you, but you can still appreciate all the hard work that went into that person getting there.
And not just hard to win any big race, but a lot of Canadian-born drivers have won that race, as you know, including your brother a few years ago. But you're the first Canadian-based driver to win it since Trevor Ritchie and Frugal Gourmet back in '87. So that's a long time to win their signature event. So you're not just representing yourself, you're kind of representing that whole group upstairs here. Yeah, and we got a great group up there. Yeah. I was told by numerous people, they said they were just screaming down the lane. Yeah. Everyone was cheering for me, and that's the way it is in this business. We're a family, and we all root for each other, and it's never Canada versus US or anything like that, but you can be sure if it was Louis coming down the lane or Jody coming down the lane, the guys would have been the exact same. Like we're fierce rivals on the track, but we're also we know how to cheer for each other, and it's special for any of us. And like you said, it was, I think Mark and I are the only brothers to ever win the Meadowlands Pace, so that's pretty cool. And we're a close family, and I know Mom and Dad were proud. And Mom told me she was getting flooded with messages. She texted me and she said, I didn't win anything. Like I just, but no, it was cool. And even Trevor Ritchie messaged me. He said, that's awesome.
Pretty tough race to win, eh? He said, I think it's been a long time. It's something witty like that. Like if you know Trevor, that's what you get from him. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I know and you're leading me right into the next thing I want to discuss, and that is your family. You say the word family, and I know you come from a tight-knit family, a competitive family, though, because I'm sure growing up you guys were competitive at whatever you were doing. You're also competitive on the track, but then you also take the moment to celebrate each other's accomplishments. Whether it's Anthony and what he's been able to build with his empire and, winning certain races, of course, your brother Mark and you, even Curtis and the award-winning productions that he puts on, behind the scenes with Cujo TV. Who was the first one of your immediate family to reach out to you?
I wouldn't know, because there was 120,000 text messages when I came in, so I didn't really take note of who reached out first, but I knew before I opened them, there'd be one from Mark, one from Anthony, one from Lloyd, one from Bobby, one from Curtis, one from my mom, one from my dad. So it was like you couldn't have said it any better. Our dad is our #1 fan, and he is. He's always cheering us on, always the first to, if you have a bad night, to tell you to keep your head up. And even when I was racing at Flamborough or wherever it might be, when I was just getting started, if I had a couple bad nights, he'd be the first one to reach out and be like, just remember you're the best driver in the world. Keep your head up. It's, and even I could make the biggest mistake in the race, and he would be like, well, what was that other guy doing? Always
got your back.
Always got your back. And Mom's the same way. She's always pumping our tires and doing everything she can if you're having a bad go or a good go, whatever it is, to keep you grounded maybe when things are going good, but to also pump your tires when you need it. And I'm sure everyone read Anthony's Facebook post.
I was just going to say, I know he wrote that great thing, and I loved how he referred to your dad as a great sire.
Yep.
Right? I'm sure he'd be, Freddie'd be pumping his chest on that.
Dad refers to himself as a great sire. So, that was awesome. And that's just the family we have. Anthony, obviously I wouldn't be the driver I am without him. He brought me here. He forced me to work and forced me to get in the race bike, forced me to train, forced me to do everything, and I'll never be able to repay him for that. Mark and Curtis and everyone, they always supporting me, and Curtis, he just about had me in tears there when he sent me a picture of his little guy Lincoln. He's the biggest horse racing fan in the world, and he's always like leaning back with the stuffies or whatever it is, running around on his pony saying, "Lean back, Uncle James, lean back, Uncle
awesome.
James," or something cool. So. We got a really, really close family, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, how about your boy Griff? How does he feel about you winning big races like this?
Griff doesn't care.
No?
No. When you tell him, or Joe, did you see Dad won the Meadowlands Pace? He says, oh, that's cool. Or I'll force him to watch the replay, and he'll pretend like he's into it. Yeah. And then, what are we doing today? Are we like it's just changed the subject? But I can't really blame him. He comes by it. Honestly, had no interest in horse racing myself as a young kid or even a teenager. It took till I got older and really hooked on it to get into it. And he's not into it now, but I wouldn't be shocked if down the road he flips a switch and is just eats, sleeps, and breathes it like I did.
But for now, he keeps you leveled.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He brings you back down to reality if you ever. And I don't think you're the type to get up there anyway. You talk about your dad always, telling you to hold your head up high even when you would think you maybe shouldn't because of something that went on. Let's go back to the NA Cup, and obviously going in there, you're driving Legendary. You have to feel like you've got one of the best colts in the race, if not the best colt. But trip's important. And the horse has to be on his game. So many different tangibles have to work out for you to win, and you've realized that with a bunch of big wins. But it didn't work out for you on that occasion. So how do you come out of that race and hold your head up high and get built up for this moment?
Well, that's just years of failure.
Okay.
It's a tough game. It's such a hard game. I actually said to Doug on the way in, we were talking about it, and I just, after the NA Cup, you never know, the expectations for that horse are so high because he's so gifted. And, I wasn't able to work out a trip in the Metro. And then, the Breeders' Crown, he drew the 9-hole, and it was kind of a mess. And then it didn't work out a good trip in the NA Cup. And, it's a game where you're only as good as your last drive. And I know there's always, like we've talked about 100 times, that stigma that maybe you need an American driver to win the big races in the States. So I wasn't 100% sure, I would keep the drive on Legendary Hanover. So Casey came to me after, and when Nijinsky had won, and she had said, we're not disappointed with the drive. It was so close to being perfect, and it just didn't work out. But this horse is great, and he's going to do great things. And, Tony's always the most supportive guy in the world. He never says a word. He doesn't get too high with the highs, and he never gets too down. He's never the type of guy to blame the driver or put pressure on you. So he was great, and it just couldn't have worked out any better.
What did Tony say to you?
Tony never said anything. He just high-fived instead.
Yeah.
He was so happy from Nijinsky, so he didn't. Like I said, we went to the barbecue there to celebrate the NA Cup and Nijinsky's win, and everyone was high-fiving and happy, and I was kind of kicking stones and dragging my feet. And then Tony and Casey both said we'll be having a legendary party here soon. So,
yeah.
And it was great that it worked out, but like I started saying, I'd said to Doug, like if they had taken me off and I had to watch Legendary Hanover win in 46 at Meadowlands Pace, that's just how tough this game is. Like the horse maybe wasn't. I can't explain to you. I think the horse is the best 3-year-old in the world, and I don't think there's another one that compares. But for whatever reason, then a couple in, maybe he wasn't his absolute best. He got picked off. Maybe that was my fault. Maybe I didn't have him on his toes in the last turn, and then the final, it just didn't work out. But to see him bounce back and do exactly what we always thought he would in the Elim, and then just really stamp his name in the final, to be in a force to be reckoned with, it was really rewarding.
Yeah, well, rewarding for sure, and it's awesome. I mean, the connections are just having so much fun with you and Louie and what you guys are able to do with that nice 1-2 punch. The year you're having already, and we're just into the back half of it now. Let's go back to only a couple of weeks ago. You knew you were going to be heading to Quebec with Tyler Borth to compete in the National Driving Championship for an opportunity once again to represent Canada in the World Driving Championship sometime next year in New Zealand. What was your feeling going into that as far as the excitement to, especially since you have already done it, to be able to do it again? Oh,
excitement's through the roof. Just going in, like I always try not to get too jacked up about a driver challenge because they're so hard to win.
Yep.
I've raced in them. I've been first a few times, luckily, but I've been last lots of times, and I've been in the middle of the pack a whole bunch too. So it's just, they're always a grind. It's always, a crapshoot. Your horses have to be good that day. Horses you don't know. So you just hope you can bring your A game, hope you can perform your best, and hopefully things work out. But there's nothing like representing your country. So to be able to go there and win, it was a dream come true again, and I can't wait to wear the red and white and go to New Zealand and hopefully do a good job representing our country.
And you will. I don't think they could have handpicked a better guy to represent the country, and we'll all be behind you. So looking forward to that. Still awaiting to hear when that's going to happen, but we know it'll be in 2025 down under.
Yeah.
So excited about that.
Yeah, whenever the date is, I'll be ready to rock. So hopefully it's winter time here so I can go get away from the cold for a bit. But if not, we'll just have to do the best we can.
Even their winter would be okay over there.
I think right? It's always good to go see new countries and new places.
Another thing I wanted to talk about was back on Saturday, that was obviously their marquee event, so it's later on the program. You didn't have an opportunity to just sit around in the driver's room. You had other drives, but your night got off to a good start. Is that something you read into? Do you feed off of that success that you had early on?
Absolutely. Anytime you watch any driver, I think it's a good angle for a bettor. If you're listening, if the driver gets off to a hot start on the night, it usually snowballs into a good night all around. It's just like any other sport. When your confidence is high, it's not like you're going to make horses just do things they're not capable of. But the horses just seem to, when you're hot and you're rolling, the horses just seem to perform to their very best. So anytime you can get off to a good start, it's amazing. And like you said, I was able to jump right out of the gate on Saturday, and my confidence was through the roof.
And what about this trotter here? I mean, here's a Wallner that you were aboard the second straight time for Tony Alagna. Benny J, Ken Jacobs, obviously behind this guy, but he was impressive. Is this a handball opportunity for you, maybe?
Yeah. I was caught in with him the week before, and I really liked him. Tony said he kind of needed an easy one, so I took it easy on him, and I never really got daylight till late. And then so going into Saturday, he'd kind of drawn looked like a nice spot on the gate and a nice class. So I thought it was a time to let him stretch out. And Tony had mentioned Hambo before, so I think we kind of had to put a stamp on that he was that kind of horse, and he sure did. He did everything I asked and was just strong right through the wire. And like you said, Ken Jacobs, he came to me in the winner's circle and said, would it be okay if I put you down in the Hambletonian? And obviously you don't turn those drives down.
I'll sign right here. Yeah. Have you ever driven in the Hambletonian?
Yeah, I raced in it last year with Southwind Coors.
Oh, okay.
And just unfortunately didn't work out. Drew bad in the final. Actually moved over and got in the flow and gave Scotty that beautiful rail ride up the inside to win. So and it wasn't meant to be last year, but you never know. Those look like the dancer eliminations didn't go the way anyone thought they would the other night. So maybe it's more wide open than people think, and maybe Benny J's just hitting his best stride now.
So if you use that momentum there to help you carry you through the night, you're still feeling good, of course, come the Meadowlands pace, and then you go on to win that. Now you're just through the roof. But you got to come right back the next race. How do you get yourself to settle for another drive? Because you had It's a Love thing in the Jerry Silverman.
Yeah, well, it was kind of a different vibe because I got off to such a hard start, and then I just had the most terrible luck with hasty bid. So I had
a tough trip, right?
It was 12
overflowing field and extra
just
distance.
Kept everything everywhere I went was the wrong move. But so it was going out for the Meadowlands pace. It was forget about that one, move on. You got more bigger fish to fry. You still had a great night. Keep your head up, and then I was able to do that. And then when your confidence is high and you come back and you have another great horse to drive, like It's a Love thing, it's the best feeling in the world. Like she's just unbelievable, and I knew there's no trip she can't handle. There's no, just don't get her caught in, don't get her parked the whole mile. Aside from that, you're getting your absolute best from her.
So the Meadowlands pace from a monetary standpoint is your biggest win. You've had some others that are close to that, but it's a big stakes win. How did that one feel different than, because you've got you got a pair of Miltons, you got a pair of Pacing Derbies, you got a Maple Leaf Trot, you got a She's a Great Lady, you got a Fan Hanover, now Meadowlands pace. I don't know if I'm forgetting anything outside of all the provincial program success, but how does that one feel different than the others?
Oh, it's way different. It's the first real big. I've won the Matron a couple times in Dover, but it's the first real signature race I've won outside of Canada. So it's. And the Meadowlands has a lot of history. It's a world-renowned track, and I absolutely love racing at Mohawk and winning big races here. Like you said, the Trotton Classic and Derby, those are the moments I'll never forget. But just to go down to the United States and race at the Meadowlands and race in the Meadowlands pace, that's amazing. But to win it is just, I'm blown away, and I'm a lucky guy, and I don't even know what to say still. I can't put it into words, but I'm just proud for myself, proud for all the guys here in Canada, because I think we're finally breaking down that stigma that you can win, we can win anywhere, and I think we have an amazing group of drivers here, and it was just an amazing night that I'm never going to forget. Like I said, my feet haven't touched the ground yet, and I still can't put it into words. I'll probably have to watch the replay a few more times to be able to put it into words.
Very well said. Very well said. So, again, you've got a long list of these big races. You talk about that's a lot of your major goals right now in this stage of your career. So what do you want to add to the resume? Like next? What would you love to add next?
Well...
Or what do you want the most?
Well, obviously Hambletonian would be top of the list. North America Cup, right there. Gold Cup and Saucer, still got to win. Being from PEI, that one's very.
Any whispers
very
of you maybe going there this year with someone?
Talks, but it's a tough time of year. I think the final of the Gold Cup and Saucer this year, the eliminations of the Maple Leaf Trot, and maybe the. Wellwood and stuff, so it's tough. Like a really tough time to miss. But I said a few years ago, every old home week I'll be there for at least a day or two. So I'm gonna try and force it in somewhere in the middle of the week or the week before, and get down, see family, see friends, take in what I think is the best week of racing in probably the world, and I just love going home. So those three are probably top of the bucket list right now. But the jug got a hopefully legendary. He'll give me a big thrill this year. Maybe he'll be a good jug shot, and we'll just see. There's a lot of them.
Breeders' Crown.
Breeders' Crown.
Fun,
I still don't have any Breeders' Crowns, so
so you got some you still want.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
It keeps you hungry, right?
Oh, absolutely, and that's the. I think you lose that drive or hunger in this game, you might as well stay home. So. I'm really hungry, really always looking for the next great horse to drive, and this year it looks like my 2-year-olds are special again, so hopefully they keep developing and into more for years to come.
Yeah, you've got a pretty good lineup here tonight as we sort of shift our focus. I do just want to talk to you about a few of them. I know you've got a busy night, and we'll have to get you, heading out to get your colors on here soon. The opener, T.H. Monica, was a trotter that got hammered down in her pari-mutuel debut because she was so good in her qualifier. And we always refer to that as that's a non-James MacDonald type qualifier because we don't usually see you on the front or winning by a bunch. If you do, we know it's well in hand, and she was. What did she get out of that first race, or how did she perform in that first race, in your opinion?
Well, it was kind of a different situation because Francis had schooled her the week prior to that qualifier, and I'd kind of did more of a, as you say, typical James MacDonald qualifier. I was buried up the whole way and down the lane zigzagging for room, and she had a ton of trot. So I knew going into her qualifier it was like her second qualifier.
Yep.
And so I was able to let her stretch her legs a little bit, and I knew what she was capable of, and she was amazing. She went awesome. And then the first start, I just kind of bit off more than I could chew. Francis is a patient guy, and he wants his horse develop, nicely. And so I tried floating out a bit, and I just ended up getting too far back. And I don't think that's her game. She's a big, strong, beautiful,
very
gated,
leggy. She seems, right?
Big, just a beautiful gait and a really nice filly. But I don't think she's going to be a horse that's going to sit back and come 26-2. And that's, I need her to probably come 24-2 to win. But she finished up in 27-2, made up a lot of ground. And I think, have her a little closer tonight. I think she's a nice filly, and I think she's going to show it tonight.
Should have a big shot. Plus the track, a lot better than it was this morning. Oh, wasn't that a nightmare?
Yeah, it was hot. I said...
We've been pounded by rain, by the way.
I said to Billy, he said, yeah, it could have been a first. And I said, yeah, it might have been the first driver ever to drown in the qualifiers. It was... we needed hip waders out there this morning. Jeez. It was wild how hard it was coming down.
Yeah, I know we're not the only area dealing with some poor weather and a lot of rain, but yeah, we've been getting hammered, and looks like there's a threat of it out there again tonight. Let's just hope it kind of moves on.
It looks like it's going to pass. Like it hit hard the last hour, but I'm hoping from what I saw on the radar, we're going to be all right until a little later anyway.
Over to the fourth race, you've got another grassroots here with Abby's Medal, a first-time starter, a daughter of the bank that Rick Zeron trains. Now, you drove a nice one for Rick that you won landing on time. That tactical landing was a pretty good effort from him.
Yeah, Ricky had asked me the week before, said he was going to put him in. He thought he was a special colt, so he told me that race. He said try him a little bit. He said he's going to Lexington next week, so just let's see what he's capable of. But I think he's special, and he was spot on. The horse, he won in 56 and change.
Yeah,
didn't have to start him up. He felt like a real nice colt. So, but Abby's Medal, she was qualified well. I just kind of went around, let her do her thing, and she's
moving well here on the end.
Yeah, she was. She trotted right through the wire, and I was pleased with her. So hopefully we get a better
good gated,
good effort tonight. Yeah, she was a little bumpy at times, but Ricky's a terrific horseman. I know he'll have her straightened away and ready to go for tonight.
Yeah, and Rick can take his time too. He might think he's got a gold horse on his hands, but won't put it past him to necessarily put them in a grassroots sometimes. You just, especially early on, to just get a little foundation.
Yeah, he's developed a lot of great horses over the years, and he knows what he's doing. So I think this is going to be a nice little filly and make some money. So hopefully she keeps developing into a nice horse, and hopefully tonight she really develops into a grassroots winner.
Barstool Mountain, you got to feel good about his chances. I mean, he had missed a little time. He was pretty good in the return from a tough draw, and now he gets Lasix tonight.
Yeah, he's always been a horse that had a really, really big move, but sometimes right before the wire would let up. So maybe he has been bleeding a bit. Nick's a terrific horseman. He knows how to get one ready, and this horse has shown speed, and they've been disappointed this year. It just hasn't worked out. But the first start, when he ran, he felt like he was going to win by 10, and I just come out of the hole too quick, and I think just put a bad step in and run. But I think tonight on Lasix, he's going to be tough to beat. Should
be tough there in that fifth race. We do have a couple of golds for 2-year-old pacing fillies. The seventh race. Now, don't honestly tell me what you said when the draw came out. Because we probably can't say that on TV. But when the draw comes out and you see Wicked and Single up against Chantilly, what are you thinking?
Well, actually, I was thinking, I got 145 in here. Should I hit a pitching wedge or a 9-iron?
Yeah.
And then I hit whatever I hit, probably put it in the water, and then so I'm already disappointed. And then my phone buzzes, and I look, Chad Rosema, do you think they could have split those fillies up for you?
I did message him that, yeah. And I think you gave me the puking emoji.
Yeah,
is what you gave
so
me.
that was the first time I knew they were in together. I knew they were drawing.
So I
today.
ruined your round.
And then my round went to crap after that. But
Yeah.
no, I was praying. It's one of those things you pray and pray and pray. Please don't get in together. Please don't get in together. I know there's going to be 2 divisions. Please split. And it's just they always seem to get in together when you got 2 good ones, and it's just the luck of the draw. I've been lucky over the years to get lots split up when there's 2 divisions, have 2 good ones, and win them both. So
yeah,
sometimes you just get the short end of the stick. But it's just one of those races. I had 2 amazing horses to pick from, and I pretty much flipped a coin and went with what I hoped to be the best. And I actually heard you talk about Chantilly last week, and I thought the exact same thing, and Nick thought the exact same thing. She moves just like Prohibition Legal did.
Yeah, Kenny, I think, initially pointed it out, and then we continue to talk about that, but she looks similar, and then here when you tipped her off cover, I mean, if you're not holding tight, you're going to fall out of that bike.
Oh, she was just airborne, and she just feels like a really good horse, and you know, maybe I'm dead wrong, and maybe Wicked and Single will blow the doors off her
She's
tonight.
awesome too, right?
But it's that crappy time of year where, you know, you spend all that time training them down. The trainers love them, the owners love them, the drivers love them. You qualify them, you still love them, and then they get in with another horse you really like. So you're only
part of the business.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
You're only one guy, and you hate to disappoint anyone. And you know, and I've been wrong lots. Like that was basically what I said to Tony when I made the pick. I said I booked off Sylvia Hanover and Stockade Sealster in the same week. So don't take this as I don't think your filly's a great filly, because I don't, sky's the limit for both of them. Hopefully I made the right choice tonight, but if not, I'm a big boy. I can live with that.
Yeah, well said. Again, part of the business, when you're the best in the business, you get your choice of a lot of these good ones, and you've got a good lineup here tonight and going forward as well. Appreciate you coming in, my man. Always a pleasure talking to you. Congratulations once again. Continued success, and continue to just do us proud.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Chad. Happy to be here anytime, and hopefully we can get out golfing one of these days.
Yeah. He's even better than me at that too, but so are most. We're going to take a quick time out. Once again, James MacDonald, Meadowlands Pace winning driver, has got a big lineup tonight. We're 5 away from the opener.